Yo, I want to chill right now.
You're disrespecting me in a public forum right now. You realize that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want that to be the goal of the podcast, for somebody to let go of their worries in the world and listen to us.
This is my new look, Daddy David. Daddy David.
Born to procreate. Born to procreate. Yeah, that better make it in the intro.
Nah, probably not.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to episode 83 of the Unboxing Life podcast. I'm one of your four hosts for today. My name is Cameron, aka What the Cell, Bro? Which will make sense going forward, if it doesn't already. With me today, I got, if you get too rowdy in the liver, he's going to kick you out. That's Trevor.
Oh, I am the liver's bouncer. I'm also sporting some Ari today, so, you know.
There you go.
I felt a little sexy today.
Alex feeling mournful, saying R.I.P. to the RBC.
R.I.P. man.
Spoilers ahead, everybody.
Spoilers ahead.
Spoilers
As a
ahead.
work code black.
In case you didn't know, red blood cells can die, but
Yeah.
R.I.P. to the homie. Too soon.
Mm-hmm.
And last but obviously not least,
Thanks.
if you're feeling soft, go see this guy, David.
What's up, guys? I
Say-
guess I am
say your
least
name.
in. Oh yeah, I'm robotic Viagra, just so that makes sense for everybody.
Jesus Christ.
So-
If you're not watching on YouTube,
Yeah, it's a little reference for y'all. What's up, everybody?
Wanted to let
what are
you
we
say it.
reviewing today?
But yes, as said during the intros, we are reviewing today Cells at Work Code Black. It'll be our third episode on Cells at Work.
True.
The conclusion to the series for now. So yeah, you know, like Trevor likes to say, sit back, chill with us, and it'll be a good episode.
Grab a drink, grab some popcorn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff your face like Michael Jackson.
Before we dive into, you know, our favorite moments, what we did and didn't like, all that good stuff, we have some traditions that we want to throw out there.
We do.
True.
Mine is very tightly themed, so I'm going to go last. So let's go with Alex first.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Oh,
I got you. And it's cells at work, so it's definitely anatomy and physiology related. And so the question today is, what is a sleeping brain's favorite musical group?
what is a sleeping what?
A sleeping brain.
Brain. Favorite musical group?
Well,
The gorgeous stylings of none other than Barry B. Benson.
You like
Wow.
that?
I'm going to go with Cash Cash.
Cash.
Because you slept on that album? I get it. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, man. I kept sleeping.
Oh, dang.
Dang, I see you.
Getting some good rest on that one.
Yeah.
What is it, Alex?
A sleeping brain's favorite music group is REM.
Oh,
Nice.
True. Very true.
I just looked out the window and there's a full-on rainbow happening right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks quite
Dang.
wonderful, honestly.
Wow.
Is it just raining?
That's great.
Yeah,
Alex.
it rained all day. Also, Ari has a song called REM, so she did it first, even though she didn't.
Rapid eye movement, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Alex's joke making Trevor see the beauty in the world. He'll love to see it.
Always.
Sure.
While you do your track, I'm going to look at this rainbow.
Yeah.
He saw it with his rapid eye movement. There you go. He's not even sleeping.
Go for it, David.
Dang. Okay, I will go for it. Again, as we said, spoilers ahead, because my track is Heart Attack by Luna, who is a
Oh,
K-pop group, I believe. I wanted to look up, I'll be honest, like I forgot. The only Heart Attack song I remember was a Demi Lovato song, which I'm not a big fan of, so I was like, I gotta look up some body-themed songs. I can't think of any, and I just found this, not really a hidden gem because it has 22 million views, and it's a big K-pop group, but
Is it
hidden
like a
gem
boy
for me.
band? Is it a girl band? What's up?
Girl band, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually really great. So,
You said it's K-pop?
yeah.
I fucks with some K-pop.
Yeah, it's a great music video too. Very cute. So Luna, Heart Attack. Check it out, everybody.
Sounds
been-
good.
Maybe we will stand.
I like that. Some K-pop in the mix. Wouldn't have been surprised if you threw "Staying Alive" in there. I think
That
that's
would make sense.
that's
Yeah.
that's one of the songs with the BPM that like you do heart,
Chest
chest compressions too.
I always think of Another One Bites the Dust for that,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
which is awful, an awful
CPR.
song that you shouldn't be doing CPR to.
Oh. Yeah.
But we're gonna leave
Alright.
that there.
There you go.
Dang.
Heart attack. Cool.
I guess I'm up next then.
Hit us with it, Trev.
Process of elimination. So I wrote my quote down as I heard it in the show because I knew I was gonna forget the shit. And
Yeah.
I finished the show like 3 weeks ago, so it's gonna be a rough episode for you, boy. But the quote is at the very end of the show. It's the very last lines. It says, "The inside of a human body, or this is the inside of a human body. Every day we receive oxygen in the lungs and deliver it to the entire body. That's all there is to it. But that's our job as red blood cells. One by one, the jobs we cells do may be insignificant, but with all the efforts of us cells at work, this body is able to live on." And that was brought to you by your boy AA2153, the main
Oh,
character.
dang. Okay. Had that written down too. Nice.
Kid.
Good kid.
Gotcha.
Good kid.
Good
In a
kid.
mad body. That is very true.
Very
Good
true.
kid, mad
Uh,
body.
Very
Good cell
alternate
body.
title. Yeah. Dang.
I'm retiring. Oh,
So
how we feeling, man? How we feeling?
we
This is better than season 2 by far. It's not even close.
All right. Well, Cameron thought it's traditional, but all right.
Oh, true. My bad.
It's your favorite
what I
too.
said.
It's a
That's my
guessing
bad,
game.
that's my
You get to participate in this one.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. So if you were to lay all of the blood vessels in the human body end to end connected, their cumulative length would be how long in miles?
So there's what?
So
How many red blood cells are there?
I don't know. I think it was like I think they said 37 trillion cells.
They say
total.
37 trillion total cells.
Yeah. So I don't know how many red blood cells alone.
I would say maybe 10 million or 10 trillion.
How many miles?
So
of
how many
human
miles long of blood vessels are there?
I don't freaking. I feel like I should know this, but I don't.
I'm gonna go like a mile and a half.
Okay. I'm gonna say 10,000.
Okay.
I'm
All
gonna
right,
say
you are wildin'.
enough
Holy
to circumvent
shit.
the Earth.
Enough
There
to
you go.
circumvent the Earth. What is the circumference of the Earth? Does anyone know that off the top of their
Like
head? I certainly don't.
26,000 miles, maybe 22,000.
Way too short. What?
Someone
Yeah,
Google,
it's
someone
not
Google
that
it real
short.
fast.
20,000.
Yeah, the U.S. is only like 2,500.
Circumference of the Earth is 20,000. You said
Let me see.
roughly. Someone look that up. I want to know
Check that.
so we can compare.
24,901 miles. I was almost
Wow.
beyond.
That's
24,000.
crazy. Wow.
Okay. So Alex, what was your guess?
That.
That amount, 24,000.
Yeah. Sure.
With all of the blood vessels in the human body, you could go around the Earth at least twice because it is 60,000 miles.
know it.
Oh, you said blood vessels?
Blood vessels, yeah.
Yeah.
All the veins in the body.
Veins,
Man.
arteries, capillaries.
Yeah.
I knew I'm nice with it. I
everything
know
that
what I'm
carries
talking about.
blood, laid end to end.
I knew it'd be some crazy long
Is,
thing.
is
Dang.
60 grand. Yeah,
I don't believe that for a
roughly.
single fucking
I
second.
said a mile and a half. You are wilding, my guys. You are wilding.
wilding.
And it turns out to be
50
2 Earths.
or 50,000. Nah, no way.
60,000. That's the
That's-
guesstimate. You know, obviously people are different sizes, so there's a good bit of variability there. But yeah,
Wow.
that's how it is.
All right.
Well, if the
There you
Earth is looking for a belt and you're an organ donor, knock knock, motherfucker, give me your blood vessels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
for
were
sure.
what you wanted to jump straight
How's
into
it
it,
work?
Trev. You
Literally
said
smashes the shit out of season 2, and it's not even funny. It should be season
Well,
2.
Code Black.
Well, I'll
You're
tell you
saying yeah.
what.
Yes,
We made a fatal mistake here. We didn't listen to the intro, but it doesn't. We don't need to listen to it because it's trash.
it's
Yeah,
dog shit.
The intro ain't it. It
Sorry,
really ain't it.
It's that
Another
auto-tune.
yeah,
wow.
auto tune shit out of here, bro.
Yeah,
David, do you have something else? Because I don't remember, and it's trash.
It's okay to me, but I don't think it's trash, but it's not that memorable.
I watched
I will
it.
say I do like him waking up with the alarm at the very end, because they don't really show that part of their lives. They always
Yeah.
just show him in action and the blood vessels and all that
Yeah.
good stuff. So it's cool
Yeah.
to see his like little dormitory that he has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know how I feel about my own red blood cells just taking a nap. On the
Yeah, I would feel
Yeah.
like if they needed sleep, they would just like chill in the blood vessels, just like float like a lazy river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the part where the metaphor gets like super intense, and they want to liken like everything to one, like make them people, and therefore they have to have houses, and they have to go to bed, and they have to have food, and like all this, that, and the other thing, and like when the phagocytosis is just them like chomping on it like with their teeth, as opposed to like in reality they like a white blood cell would like envelop wholly they sell it. They're just like chewing on the outside of it.
Yeah, they're in a fight scene and they're bleeding, and it's just like my blood has blood. Like,
It's just
Exactly.
nutty. For
My
real.
blood has blood.
It's funny that I wanted to see how you guys felt about the change in both animation and tone, kind of, because it's definitely very different from. I mean, obviously there's danger in the normal Cells at Work season 1 and 2, but it's never as intense and gruesome and gritty as it is in this season. And I don't know. What did you guys feel about it? I'll save my opinion for after.
I thought it was great. It got right into things pretty quickly. It was pretty well established from jump that things in his body is kind of chaotic, and then we get to see a lot of that through the episodes. It's a different change of pace, and it's refreshing from what we've seen in Cells at Work.
It's total night and day in terms of its tonal differences, but it just like fills you with this sense of dread, like something is actually wrong, instead of it just having an episodic feel where the heroes are always going to save the day. Like you have no idea who's like. I was wondering who was going to die, like because they very well could just kill a character in the show, and they did a couple times. They killed fucking the Sasuke clone like immediately at the very beginning. And Rosika really likes that kind of archetype, like the shady like emo character that's like takes things too seriously. He got murked like instantly.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and the mentor dude dies like right at the beginning, pretty much.
The first episode.
End of the first episode. Yeah, no, it was definitely refreshing. I think it's my favorite season of the show so far. That's pretty easy to say for me. It felt like there's more of a thread going through it, where they're, like you said, they have something to deal with, and there's kind of a overarching tone at least, or like concept of we gotta really, like, this body is really gone to crap, we gotta fix it, and that here's all these things that manifest. Whereas the other one, it's like this body could be anybody, it's just random things are happening. And
there's definitely a thread, and every episode ends like they succeed in whatever they had to accomplish, and then like at the very end of the episode they'll hint at what's happening again, like an alarms will come off, and like it doesn't feel segmented, it feels like you're pushing along the story instead, which is weird for the show. But
I was happy to see it.
Yeah, definitely the continuity was cool. And like and basically everything you guys said about it being the environment that's resulting in all of these conditions, as opposed to like it just being sheer chance of like, knee scrape, and you like let some pathogens in, and then you battle them, and then it's done, and then we move on to the next, like a day or a month could have passed. But in this, there's like a sense of a passage of time, and like things deteriorating, and all that, and you get more like a more clear picture of like the outside world of like what. And I was wondering if it was going to be, if they were ever going to do what Trevor said he wanted, which was to do like kind of an inside out thing where they show the cells on the inside of the body and the people on the outside.
They could totally do it. They would literally kill that shit.
Show like the guy in a hospital bed or some shit like that, or God knows what.
I always kept picturing him in a really dim lit like studio apartment with Cheetos on the ground and like beer cans everywhere, ashtrays spilt over, like really shitty life.
I mean, it was nuts. They just kept on worsening it. Just like, he's smoking, drinking, hasn't slept in 2 days, like all this shit. Like, I was like, what does this guy's life look like? Like, and they keep on talking about, there's a moment too where he's like, the Cell has this really weird moment of like self-actualization where he's like, I wonder who the true villain is. Like, it's like, we can't put blame on the body because clearly there's like stuff that this guy is coping with that we can't really blame him for what he's putting in his body and stuff like that. So it's like they were painting this like broad picture of like the entire world, but still staying just inside of his body, which was interesting that they did it. And it was only a few moments that had that sort of like, it's definitely not a fourth wall break, but like that more broad concept. But it was cool. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, it allows the world, which is the body, obviously, to have some character to it and some defining features that you can look at and be a little bit different.
And I think it's as Cameron said earlier when he said, it's not just pathogens invading the body and then they got to fight them and take them out. And now that's not to say that the Cells at Work season 1 and 2 is all fighting pathogens, but this body's problems is more chronic and more self-destructive, and it's the cells dealing with. They're like, oh, alcohol is here, and then they get showered with alcohol,
Right.
or
the energy drink or whatever.
Like caffeine,
Yeah.
So
it kind of like looking at it in hindsight, like when he goes to, I think it's the erection episode, which we should talk about because it's
boner
ridiculous.
episode.
Yeah, it's a total boner episode. But he goes to
Episode
the testes.
3, no less.
Yeah, he goes to the testes and he sees like the baby little sperm, and they're like, it's a nursery. And then by like episode 10, he comes back and it's desolate. It's gone. Like it just shows you like we were just talking about how it weaves a single thread through all these episodes, even if they're completely like you could watch them basically. You could go to from episode 2 to 8, and you wouldn't really miss too much. But the fact that it like calls back to other shit, and it just gradually shows him breaking down. Like the liver was popping, and then that was desolate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I love the liver metaphor that it's a red light district basically, like a pleasure district. It was so fucking funny. It was like because it's the and like you said, the old mentor dies just like sitting in the bar, which was like a wild turn kind of, but it was like the classic movie scene of the experienced guy, like sort of jaded, experience from the world, whatever, taking these two new like still got the shine on them newbies kind of thing to the bar to have a good time, and they're like, oh no, I've never done this kind of thing before, and it was it was like that kind of classic movie scene that they leaned into, and I thought it was funny.
Right.
Yeah, but they still keep the metaphor like very tight, where like the girls bring them like the one
the thing
like
to detox
drink or
with.
whatever to detox, and then they become toxic, and then they like push it off or whatever, and then they move on.
You learn that when red blood cells pass away, they basically cannibalize, and they just like they kind of break them down with their own mouth.
Yeah, that was a bit disturbing.
This was definitely
vampire action.
This was definitely the horniest season of Cells at Work.
Well, that's true.
The one that's responsible for disposing of the red blood cell is quite scantily clad and sexually drawn, and then the white blood cells, man, they just
white blood cells,
and
brother.
them fucking water balloons, bro. Holy shit, yo! If Valentine got 5% of the budget, these motherfuckers got at least 20.
Yeah, Faye Valentine, good callback. Yeah, dude, it was like for no reason. I don't know. It just
literally.
It was like, I get fan service and stuff like that when it's like written into the show, but it just like it felt so weird in this instance for some reason. Especially like how far the zipper was down on their shirt and stuff. I was like, why? Just chill.
Yeah, they were fucking
no need.
monsters. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. It was quite fun.
Every time, like I could not get used to the size throughout the show, and I usually try to like push
Me
past
neither,
that. I'm
dude.
like, I'm fucking, I'm not gonna beat off to a fucking anime show, but Jesus Christ, like just chill out.
Yeah. I guess I got used to it, but I'm kind of used to that at this point, unfortunately. But
That's like the most egregious form of fan service I've seen yet.
oh wow, yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Hey man.
We watch
No,
it
yeah,
kind of
I thought it-
sometime soon then.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm definitely not asking for fan service. But
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
You know you are.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. It was, but on the other side of that, it was like the blood and gore was like off the charts in comparison. I mean, I know in the first 2 seasons we would talk about, and it was like he slices them, and we'd made the joke that it's like the bloodiest show we've ever watched because they're all blood cells, but then also there's hella blood coming out of the germs and everyone. But it was like grotesque at times. Like the blood clot being a like ball of corpses was like absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
just
kind
a
of.
ball of corpses rolling down the hallway, like just
It was hard to look at.
killing anything. It was like, oh my god. And then they just walk up to it and like start trying to pull it apart, and they're just like
Yeah.
yanking on arms and whatever. It was like, Jesus Christ. Because
Yeah.
the metaphor holds up. Like that's exactly what it is. But it's, I don't know. Sometimes they're like horrified by what they see, and sometimes they're just like, oh, that's a ball of corpses. That's crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
It's funny because in the previous seasons, there's almost like this weird like dichotomy or like just like switch that gets flipped where it's like usually like super cheery and everything's nice, and then like
Yeah.
we said, it gets bloody and crazy, and this is just like, nah, it's just gonna stay that way the whole time, which I liked. It's just it's a little more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another thing I like.
It turned off a couple times. Sometimes it had a little bit of light moments, but for the
No,
most
for
part,
sure,
like
yeah.
about 87% of the show is pretty dreary.
Yeah, they throated them in, but then like, you know, they were
It's like Marvel
definitely
humor.
late on the cutesy moments. And like the main platelet is like
Is a total bitch.
is like too like mature for her age or whatever you want to say. Like she's bossy and like jaded and everything, and like has sunken eyes, and as opposed to the, you know, incredibly cutesy little head platelet from the other two seasons. And it's like it's all a product of the environment and all that. So it was, yeah, they changed basically everything to sort of meet the standards that they had set for the environment, which just made
Right.
sense. I was glad they did it. It wasn't like, you know, anything crazy, but it was a
They-
necessary change.
Yeah, they basically took everything from the first two seasons and just flipped it on its head.
They
Like even
adapted
those,
it, yeah.
yeah,
Which that's like kind of how they started, which I like. They have like that training video where it's like, oh, this is gonna be like the normal body and everything's cool, and then immediately you get out there and realize it's not, which is kind
that was heartbeartring when he got to the
Yeah.
stomach, and the gastric acid guy was just like, man, what the fuck are you talking about? That was like 50 years ago.
yeah.
Man, that really hurt.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
so cheerful. He's like, just tell us your names. You know, we work better if we know your full name. You know, and
Yeah.
he just extends like, you know, a helping hand. You know, hey, my name is blah blah blah. Get the fuck out of here! Like,
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
I got time
But then he
for
comes
names.
around at the end, like he remembers his name, and he's
yeah,
Right.
and that was a good. I like that.
Yeah, it's a nice payoff for sure.
I will say the stomach is quite the metaphor for like laborious labor, which is like, why would I say laborious labor? Because it's literally the same thing. But
There you
fucking, I used to work for UPS, and shitty conditions about. It's a really dusty, awful, hot, made of steel warehouse, and you're constantly getting, you know, shoveled in with packages and all that shit. And there's been certain nights where I'll leave at 10 p.m. and the next shift is coming, and I still see loaders in the truck by themselves with a mountain of packages next to each other, and they're just dying. And it's exactly how it feels like to see the stomach just work itself.
Right. And they did a lot with that. Like they really took that theme, like with the, you know, overwork and exploitation maybe, and just like, you know, not being given a frick about while you're trying, you know, working your hardest, and people are dying on the job and it doesn't even freaking matter. It seems like it's
Right.
which, yeah, I mean, is a great direction to go if you're going to go with a body that's breaking down. It's like, it seems like they tried to not just be directly educational, but like, okay, you have the educational thing, but you just take it into other directions that also apply to a body, and like you can take it. It's more creative to me. Like, just what does this
Definitely.
connect to in our life?
I think it's more creative in the sense that it's more metaphorical. It's not just like, this is this cell and this is what this cell is going to do. It's more in the sense of you're seeing how the cell is being overworked, and even in the stomach, no matter how hard they're working and the food is coming in and it's still saturated fats, and it's like, what are we going to do with this? We have to work with what we got. And I think that's where it's the strongest, because it's like, that's just really how it works. If you just, you know, you're not eating the right foods, you're not being nutritional, you're smoking, you're drinking, you're just not really caring about your body. It's very powerful in that sense, I feel.
Definitely.
Yeah,
A lot
and
of
I always have like thoughts of like, if I get like a chronic disease or something in the first things to go are your extremities, you know, being your hair or whatnot. That's like the first thing to fall out of your body, that and your nails just deteriorate. I always think about that. I don't know why. And they made it a point in one of the episodes of hair loss where that's exactly what happens. You know, they're just overworked to the point where they can't spare the resources for hair. So just, you know, they're gone.
Yep.
But
And yeah, that was interesting. I never knew why that happened. Like your hair starts to fall out when you're stressed and all that stuff. So
yeah.
I learned some stuff legitimately on that. So
Yeah, and so much of that education done by that glorious, glorious narrator, our boy Kenjiro Suda. Do you guys recognize his voice at all?
I watched the dub. So no.
Yeah, I watched
Oh,
the
you
dub.
watched it in dub. Damn. All right.
Yucky.
The dub was was good.
Trevor,
Yeah, it was
I'm
great.
sure it was. I looked for it, but I had Crunchyroll, so I went with the sub. Trevor, did you recognize
I
his voice
don't
actor?
think I recognize. I may have, but
He's I think he's probably one of my favorite voice actors in anime now, because he's Nanami in Jujutsu Kaisen, and Overhaul in My Hero Academia, and Hanes in Attack on Titan, and Joker in Fire Force, which I don't believe you guys have watched, but he's really good in that as well.
Wow.
So yeah, he absolutely kills it. I love his voice,
Dope.
especially for that like sort of deadpan, like matter of fact delivery. It's really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
one of them sounded like Deku, and I couldn't point my finger on it. But
Dang.
All I
They
know
have,
is that my boy J. Michael Tatum was the
Exactly.
nervous system. What a
Yep.
legend.
He was up in the nervous system who plays Ida in the English dub.
Ida,
of,
okay.
He's,
That's
he's
a good
so
one.
good for, and he's in and
That's
Yeah.
Okabe and Steins Gate.
That's
he's,
a very
he's so good for that role.
Yeah.
It's a very similar role. The steadfast leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's really
he
good.
kills
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah, he did.
By the book.
Yeah. Well, getting into one of the best episodes, the erection episode. I just want to get into it now.
Yeah,
all right,
Let's
your
just-
voice.
pause on that. But
Let's just get into the erection.
yeah, man, I will say this was it was fucked up, man. It was like the entire episode. I'm just thinking like, wow, man, how do I hold a boner then? You know what I mean? Like, how does it work for me? You know, like stupid
He
shit
had the
like that.
hormones, bro. He didn't have the hormones.
Man,
It was
Yeah.
But
man, yeah,
it just took me a minute to realize what's going on, and then they're all like, "All right, we're gonna run in," and then they all run in. And
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
It almost felt like satire, like how serious they
But
were
it's, like,
about
really
it.
serious,
where, like,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It like
Yeah.
because you don't see that kind of thing in any sort of media where they talk about it so seriously and take themselves so seriously, talking about, you know, quote unquote taboo topics, as in like, you know, genitalia, whatever. So, but it was like I could not take it seriously. Like I was rolling when it was like the music was popping off. He was struggling, like making all this noise. He was like, "I will not run away. I will not back
Right.
down." He's like, "I will give this dude a boner. It
There's-
will be me."
Yeah.
we gotta
the
work
reason
hard.
They're so convicted, or
Yeah.
they're just so determined, is because they think that
For
they're
reproductive
helping with the
purposes.
propagation, yeah, of like
Right.
another human, and then they realize at the very fucking end that he's either masturbating or just having sex.
Yeah.
They're just heartbroken.
That was wild. Yeah. That was
Yeah,
kind of
Like,
crazy.
they frame it in the way that the cells that went out, being the sperm cells, fucking died for no reason. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
No,
I'm sitting here like, yo, should I not wank? Like,
I know. I
come
like
on, man.
episode 3 sent me on like a weird guilt trip. It's like, damn. Like,
I feel that. But what I could not take the most seriously is definitely those sperm cells in the
they look
sperm.
ridiculous.
You know, they look like little nimbus clouds they were sitting on, like, oh man, with a little tail,
They look so
like,
incredibly
yeah.
swimming
stupid.
gap. Oh,
Oh
man,
my
that was so
God.
cute.
That's so funny. I mean, they were, I guess, cute and funny, and then they show them racing out of there, like, "I'm gonna beat you" and stuff, and then it's like, yeah, they all freaking died. That was for
Like,
nothing.
yeah.
I swear to God, I was waiting for them to hit a barrier.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Right.
Oh, there's a condom! Like,
Yeah, and the dude would just go
Just a
condom.
tissue.
Yeah, you hear the narrator just. Yeah, no, I think that episode has the best line of the whole show, which I don't know if it was exactly the same in translation, but like he has the moment where he's on the ground, he's just like he's in the penis, he's like, God dang, he's so discouraged, and then but he just gets the inspiration that's shown in a moment. He turns around like, no matter what, an erection is coming.
yeah, I think I remember that.
So they had a good time with that episode. They would throw in like little subtle things, like the white blood cells would be like, "Oh, that's nuts! Like there's an erection. That's
Yeah,
nuts." Like, they
yeah.
were just,
That's
I was kind of rolling at that. I laughed out loud at that
It's
moment.
good and funny.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. I don't know if you asked me to design a humanoid sperm for a TV show, I don't know what I would do, but like literally just a sperm cell with a tiny head on top of it. It's like so
It's
fucking funny
cute
to me.
as shit, man.
It's so
I thought it was so
like,
fucking cute.
Is they just didn't have time in the boardroom. They were just like, all right, we need sperm cells. All right, just head on top of okay, we're good. Moving on. Like,
Well, they gotta have the tail and everything.
like I don't know what I would
Yeah.
do, but yeah, it was. Oh man. But
No,
yeah, they were just like smiling and excited, and like you said, they just
No, because isn't it something like only one like sperm makes it to the egg? So what if it was just like them actually like making it and they're just getting pummeled by like acid?
Would have been cool.
They're just getting
Would've been
knocked out, and the
cool.
one that makes it, and it's like yes.
Right.
But he's like crying because his comrades just all died.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
see him like burning alive and shit. Like,
Sacrifice.
it's too hot in here.
Yeah, for sure.
Or
And-
you see the acid cells just like, all right, let's freak these dudes up.
Yeah.
Fucking rocket launchers and shit.
Coming up, they gotta run past.
Fucking anti-aircraft. It's just sitting on the walls.
Oh my god, it's a whole battle.
just looks like a
Jeez.
tower defense game.
Yeah, that,
Jesus
they could
Christ.
have had a lot of fun with that.
They could have.
Which,
But then he
yeah,
Tower
gets
defense.
gonorrhea.
It just looks like
Right.
fucking Normandy. It's just D-Day.
yeah, basically.
So he was fucking without a condom because like he got
'cause he
gonorrhea,
got
like,
gonorrhea.
instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you probably
That's
went to
wild.
the red light district, as it were.
there you go. I mean,
but
yeah,
yeah.
that's the cool aspect of the show we were talking about earlier, where it just seamlessly transitions into okay, he had sex, now he got gonorrhea, now here's the next problem, and it just it's
Right.
pretty nice. And now here's a different type of episode, like they have to battle now, and I
Yeah.
thought that was really smooth. Yeah.
And I like that it wasn't always centered around a big battle at the end. Like half the episodes were like
Mhm.
more so, in a sense, platformers. You know, like they had to traverse
Yeah.
really dangerous terrain. Like there was one point where they had to go through the caves, and you know the pressure wasn't all the way right because he just
Oh, yeah.
didn't have he wasn't active.
Yeah.
So like that was half the battle was them getting up the damn what would you
Hill.
call that big ass hill? Yeah.
Right.
I really enjoyed that because that's one of the things that exhausts me of like season 1 and 2. It's just, oh, there's another battle coming. Oh, there's gonna be how many episodes are there? All right, there's gonna be that many battles. Like there's
Yeah.
no surprises there.
I very much look forward to I think my favorite parts of the show is I mean, I think season 1 and 2 that stands true, but definitely this one because it was more necessary on a regular basis was like the interactions with the outside, like all the medical procedures, so like the steroids and the antibiotics, and then like later on, like obviously the AED and all that stuff, which the AED was a little more boring than I thought it was going to be. It was just like a little bit of electricity,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but whatever. But yeah, I like that and like whenever like seeing how they would choose to depict the new areas of the body, like when you get to see the liver for the first time and it's all like that, and then the heart is like an engine room, and the lungs are like this, that, and the other thing, and yeah, so that was cool, and yeah, something it succeeds at. I think. I don't know how you guys feel.
I
Yeah.
will say before I forget because you mentioned the AED. They're in the background of these episodes. I'm not sure if I'm the only one that noticed, but you can hear the heartbeat
Yeah,
like constantly, and it freaks me out. And I looked up fear of heartbeat, and it's the first thing that pops up is cardiophobia, and I have like really bad trouble like falling asleep. So like, cause I feel like my heart is like gonna stop, it's like really bad, especially lately. Like I've honestly been having like mini anxiety attacks. So this part of that show was like really tough for me.
damn.
So if you're not a fan of the heartbeats, you might not like this show. It's like every other episode, you can hear the boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
And it progressively gets slower, which is the thing that freaks me the fuck out. Because it's like,
True.
okay,
yeah.
he's gonna stop breathing.
That's actually really
Like
good design.
Yeah.
it is great design. For me, I didn't want to hear it, man.
Nah, bro.
It
You
drives me
gotta think
nuts.
of it. You gotta think of it as your heart is making it, trying to make a beat. It's got the kicks. The boom,
Nah,
boom.
Yeah.
It's about to go in, bro. It just needs the high end.
Man.
nah, cool.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it in the background of the other ones, just the heart episode. But dang.
Yeah, no, it's in like almost every episode.
That's
Which
great.
I will
yeah.
say-
didn't- yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, David.
On the note of the heart, like how it was depicted, like you're saying, I thought it was a cooler depiction in season 1 when the red blood cell goes there and like it's like a temple and they have this drum they're
Yeah.
beating. Like if they incorporated that into a heart attack, I thought that would have been really like cool.
And
Like,
True, you're right.
I feel like
forgot
it
about
was
that.
just like it was on a more massive scale in season 1. Season
Yeah.
2 or not season 2. Code Black is kind of like from what I remember, just a bunch of like tight corridors.
Right. It doesn't really give you the
Yeah.
scale and then it's just like Iron Man's chest up at the
Yeah,
top. or whatever.
right, right.
Iron Man's
Yeah.
chest.
Proof
Yeah.
that this body has a heart.
Yeah.
Dang. There you go. Yeah, it was a little disappointing, but I don't know.
Yeah, now that you bring that up, it was kind of sterile in terms of its design for the heart.
Yeah, yeah. Something I do like though is we sort of halfway mentioned it, but with the metaphors and everything, they're allowed to do like the overarching metaphors that they always do. But the fact that they introduce like kind of substance abuse, they like can show that actually happening to the individual cell, and they're like acting just like how a human would. So they have, obviously like energy drinks and alcohol and stuff. And it allows like this season more than the other ones for sure, like made me really like, I really got to take care of my body. Like seriously, like,
Right.
dang, bro, like this is what happens when I'm drinking an energy drink and all this stuff. Like it really hammered that home for me, which is
That's good.
value. Yeah.
It definitely
I mean,
felt like
yeah.
an extended PSA or like a health class gone wild, where it was just like,
Yeah.
this is the exact effects of anthropomorphization of things is like a very good way to tell stories. That's a lot of what Aesop's fables are and stuff like that. Like the rabbit and the hare, like to teach a lesson through like personifying things that aren't people. And that's what this show does, and it definitely like seems like it's on a mission the entire time to tell you as the viewer, like, you're gonna get fucked up if you abuse yourself, basically.
Yeah, and it's like, which is cool, and it's even cooler that it didn't even feel like it got too preachy most of the time. Like, it was
I'd
just
agree.
like, this is what happens, and like you said, they're even like, this guy has outside stress that he's trying to deal with, so he's not necessarily like he's not like an evil guy. He's just like, dealing with stuff in the wrong way. So it's like a nice nuanced take on it.
Yeah, I will say I'd be proud if I was like a high school teacher, to just play this shit. If I was like a science teacher or something like that, to play a couple of these, like if I was going through, a certain segment of the body, I'll be like, watch this, like it would be like the day before the test or something, like just to relax. That would be so cool.
For
that
sure.
one week when school is about to end,
Right.
just watching movies.
Right.
Yeah,
a little
it's
bit of
better.
a refresher.
It's better than like those old freaking ones from the 70s.
Oh
Just
my
like
God.
some doctor who's, yeah.
Well, I remember for me it was Osmosis Jones. They just played in the class.
And this kind of feels like Osmosis Jones, man, because Osmosis Jones shit goes down.
Yeah.
Like really bad.
Right. Yeah,
Like he
Bill
damn
Murray
near dies.
is not taking care of his body. Yeah. He's like-
Right.
yeah.
Spoilers for Osmosis Jones.
Yeah, my bad,
Right.
dog.
Right.
2001 movie.
Dang, son.
And TV show.
True. Ozzy and Rick. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. What else?
The guy that dies, man. How you
yeah.
feel about homie that I was so happy he died. I'm not like
No. I feel you. I know
I think
exactly
we're
what
all on the
you're going.
exact same page. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed his character, but I am so glad that they had the balls to kill him. Because
Exactly.
when he was reaching out, I was like, dude, I literally like leaned in. I was like, you're not going to do this to me, right? You're not going to fucking make him
Yeah.
save him, right? There's no fucking way that you're going to write this and then make him save him. And then he just watches him die.
Yep.
Right.
Watches that motherfucker. I was so happy.
Yeah, I was very satisfied. Like you said, it's like I don't want to see him. I don't want to necessarily see him die, but if they're gonna do him like that,
Right.
I want it to actually follow through, and they did. And I
Right.
was like, whoa, this actually has repercussions because it sends him into a depression.
Total
Stop showing up
depression.
for work.
Which is
Right.
nuts because he's the guy that's like super straight edge. Like, I'm going to do this work. I'm going to work as hard as I have to. It doesn't matter. And then he
Yeah.
just completely 180s because he feels like it doesn't matter in the end.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a super cool part of this season. I feel like it gave me something that I had not gotten from Cells at Work at all before, and actually a death, and it actually like affected me a bit, like, oh dang, and then like you said, it just leads into everything. He gets depressed, then he starts like a revolution, and then White Blood
Yeah.
Cell has to be like, okay, what's going on, and they sort of reconcile, and it's some good writing for sure.
Yeah.
It
And
was,
it also helps that homie was like a really cool guy. He had
Yeah.
his flaws, but
yeah.
Right.
he was super genuine. So
Yeah.
it hurt
Yeah.
that much more.
The thing I will say about it though is it kind of between Trevor and David on that is like it couldn't affect me emotionally because I just spent the entire scene like wondering like, oh, will this happen or not? Like I was basically spending more time like trying to pin down the philosophy of the show and like whether or not they had the stones, like you said, to kill off a character like that, or if they wouldn't. And I was like, it would have been such a weird level of plot armor for them to set up that situation where like one saves the other, but then he can also just stand up and save him again, or like someone comes out of who knows where and saves him. But so yeah, I was really just wondering more about like what path the show and the writers would choose for itself more than I was like actually worried about the character and his like the effect of his loss or whatever. But yeah, that ended up starting, like we said, like one of the most serious stints of the show, where he's just like the way they draw him is haunting in and of itself. Where he's just like, it's like
he goes
PTSD.
from a super clean, handsome looking man to just total deadbeat.
His glasses are gone. Yeah, he just has red blood cell PTSD, and it's just like he just becomes a shell of himself. It's crazy. But yeah,
it is. Yeah. For sure, and the fact that like the body moves on without him, and like, yeah,
even the gastric cell was just like screaming at him, like, "Yo, this shit happens, especially here. This is a war zone. You need to get this. You need to get your head right." Like
that was definitely crazy.
You're gonna be the next.
That's like
you're gonna be the next one.
Yeah, that was definitely crazy. Where it was like, you know, I watch y'all die every day. Like I have not been able to allow myself to be sentimental for you guys because of the fact that I just watch you die all the time. So you're like, I pull it together, you have to too, but obviously that's just fucked up to begin with. So yeah, there's an interesting dynamic there.
No, kudos to them for actually killing a character that I cared about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is I mean, honestly, it's a lot of in a lot of these shows, it's a major complaint or a problem that I would have with it. So it's refreshing when I see it done.
Yep.
Yeah, just incessant plot armor for like next to no reason. It's like he just goes through hell. Let him have that death. You know, like you don't have to have every character live to see
Let
the
him
end.
burn in the gastric acid.
Hey man.
It's also they chose a horrifying way to take him out too. It's not like he got like just skewered by a germ or something. He got like to boil in acid. That's tough. That's a tough way to head out.
Yeah, it is.
Aggravated by a stomach ulcer.
Yeah, for sure. Which they had the H. pylori come back, and then they had it was cool how they represented it differently in this one. But then also, there's like some drug that the dude takes that is like another like giant robot that's gonna fight it. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be a dope like Godzilla fight, and then it just ends in like 1 second after it starts. It's like, all right, we did it. But it was whatever.
The way they depicted gout was crazy.
Yeah,
like how it had the crystallized, like almost like a sea urchin ball.
I really wanted to see something like that where like there's, you know, a list of disorders and diseases and stuff like that where our own immune systems work against us, and so they ended up finally picking one. And you guys were talking about the turrets and the tower defense for if the episode 3 went that way, but this one they just like whip out, like they do a very like consistent. They stick to the fact that everyone has blade weapons or bludgeoning weapons. Like, they're all melee weapons, no matter what. And then they're like, Defense Formation 1, and they all bring out the military-grade, like, RPGs, M16s, M4, like, whatever they're, like, toting. It's just, like, and they just unload on it.
Which, I've honestly been waiting on. Like, it's...
Yeah, me too.
It just makes it a little more, like... I know, like, obviously it's not realistic, but they don't have knives or katanas either, so what's really, like... You're not messing up the metaphor. Where do you draw the line? Like, like, just... throw in some different stuff to make the action scenes a little more exciting or make them stand apart. And
right.
They did that. It was cool.
Definitely.
No, they made them choppers sing for sure.
They certainly did. Ding? They certainly did. Jesus.
I think
Did I say ding?
No, I said ding. I said they certainly ding.
They do ding.
That was my second favorite like outside induced or introduced drug was the ones that they use to suppress the white blood cells, because it's just like it's a metal robot looking thing in teddy bear fur that just like cuddles the white blood cells to calm them down.
I don't remember that.
It's like a 10-second shot where they just it's at the end of the gout episode where he's just like the little robot sitting there with like all covered in fur and just like wraps up a few of the white blood cells and they take a nap on him.
My God.
It was funny.
It was,
My first favorite's I think the catheter though. At the very end where they're trying to get through the capillaries or the arteries.
Yeah.
And just like this mysterious, absurd, crazy snake like whips by you down the hallway, smashes into the obstacle, leaves a net behind, and then like whips out. The stint, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was like that. I mean, the idea of like Deus Ex Machina, I think it is, where it's like, or maybe not. Maybe that's not the correct phrase, but whatever it is, that's like, you know, the savior from nowhere, basically. Like God comes down from heaven and makes everything okay, even though it like should by no manner of logic should have been exactly like the blood transfusion. And then we get another blood transfusion, which was the most depressing fucking thing of this entire show.
Yeah,
was the very, very end. I don't know if we want to jump there now or if you guys have stuff to talk about first.
I will say real quick about the stent. Like, you're talking about being afraid of the heartbeat. I think one of the things I used to be scared of, I probably still, it does still kind of scare me, but the idea of having a stent is terrifying because it's supposed to be so painful, and it's just like they
literally blow up your
they stick a balloon in your vessel and then blow it up, and it's like, well, I can't imagine what that would feel like if I had to have that. And
no, it wouldn't be nice, I don't think.
I'll add on to that. The idea of a catheter to me going anywhere freaks me out. So.
Yeah,
that's supposed to be painful too. So
yeah,
you talking about the vas deferens?
Yeah,
it could be that. It could be that. Or I mean, yeah.
Sometimes people have to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
He had a kidney stone at one point too, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he did.
Right.
I was scared of that as a kid, and that's partly one of the reasons why I stopped drinking soda when I realized that I was drinking too much soda. You know, kidney stones are no fucking joke, and you basically have to put up or shut up. Like you just have to deal with it on your own. Piss that bitch out.
The narrator talks about it being like one of the most painful experiences the human body can produce or whatever. It sounds not great. Yeah, that's another visual I forgot about actually was the blood in the urine where it's just like hundreds of red blood cells face down drowned in the river. It's like Jesus Christ.
The river turns red. Yeah.
Yeah, really quick.
It's just death
I don't want to ever have that, bro.
No, I never want to look down and see red, dude. Never.
That's literally so facts. It hurts.
Yeah. Fuck that shit. That's tough
for sure.
Anyone going through that, we definitely sympathize and empathize and hope hope you can do better soon.
Yep. Yeah. Well, in Unboxing Life in the year 2071, we'll be talking about our kidney stones. And
God.
I
God willing, I make it that far.
Yeah.
I'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else from the episodes? Any big takeaways? Small takeaways?
I think, well, not really. What do you guys think of that final little twist, I guess, like the end credit scene?
It was mad depressing, dude.
Yeah, when he gets sucked out and he just gets put into another body, right?
They finally got out. And it made me think, like, even further about the outside world of, like, you know, you have this guy who is really going through it, like, not treating himself well for whatever reason and like, ends up having a heart attack, and that's, like, maybe, he, you know... I mean, the way they talk about, you know, the erection and for the purpose of reproduction, like maybe he doesn't have kids yet or whatever, but just imagine this guy who's, you know, going through it and has a heart attack and his family like comes around him. He's like, oh, I don't want to lose what I have. I can't afford to die. And so he turns his entire life around, stops drinking, stops smoking, starts exercising, gets sleep, like all this stuff. And you're like, oh man, our hard work finally paid off. And he's like, you know, I feel good about this. I'm going to go give a blood transfer. I'm going to go donate blood because I'm a good person and I want like other people to be able to better themselves and like get that help from the medical system. And your cells that work so hard to get you where you are just get yoinked out of your body and tossed into a new garbage dump. It's
Guilt
like-
tripping
I was
blood
like,
donors right
damn
now, yeah, for
it.
sure.
Guilt tripping.
Right.
Yeah, you are hurting yourself by helping others.
Yeah, I
That
mean
is
that's
true altruism.
It's
that's
so
a good
brutal.
point for the dude's
True.
character growth. Because
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that ending is so nice. It's really honestly satisfying. At the end of all this, it's finally getting better and getting cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know,
Like,
man. I think
Yeah,
I don't want to see another season of this. If I'm being honest with you,
No, I don't either.
I don't want them to do this again because they had a great arc of the body, you know, going through all this bullshit and then finally turning it around at the end.
Mhm.
And for you to just like slap us in the face and be like, all right, we're going to do this whole show yet again. Like,
yeah,
how can I muster up the energy to give a shit about another body like this? Like,
Yeah.
this is one of those shows where it's like, you see it once, you've seen it all. Like, I don't want to see another 13 episodes of, all right, now
Yeah.
he's got to battle cancer again. Now he's got to battle fucking, I don't know.
I mean,
I was-
it depends on how they would do it. I think there's so much with the body and stuff that goes on that they could, like, if they made a completely new environment.
How though? Like, I mean,
Like you could have
the way that they depict the show, like it,
you could have the stomach and somebody just like gorging themselves and the stomach just gets filled up. They're like, pull the trigger, and then just yoink the trigger and all that shit just goes back up.
that throw up episode.
Jesus.
I need, if they're gonna keep making this show, I need them to show the human.
They could do it through the eyes, like if they show you the eye
Something.
organ and then you just see like everything like
Anything.
You see
windows
first
just looking
person.
out.
Yeah.
they haven't showed the eyes. Yeah, that would be a really interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you're definitely right. There's a lot of potential, but it's just the way this show goes. Like Code Black was so nice. I was like, man, this is like they really just had an arc and did it. And I guess I kind of knew there were more manga chapters or whatever. So I guess I thought something would happen. But you know, after the last 2 seasons, I think we're all a little fatigued. I know I was. So it's just like, then when they had this thing that's like, we're gonna reset you and just do it again, I'm like, is the manga writer really interested in progressing the story into a certain place or having it end at some point, or is it just going to be this sort of educational thing that goes on and on? Because I was losing interest after season 2, and this is a lot more interesting, but doing this, it like has me worried about the future of the show again a little bit. I thought they would do something really cool where what if the dude gave a blood transfusion to the body from like the main show so the cells could meet,
and it just
Like,
crosses over.
yeah, that would be dope. Like if you had like that would be perfect. Like you have these seasons and then maybe
That'd be
they
crazy.
cross
Almost
over
like
and
an
then have,
Avengers kind of thing for the body.
yeah, just have a dope like final season together or something. Like
Sure.
just end it. That would be a dope show. But
Yeah.
Or
I
even
don't
like a mini series, like a full, like they would do exactly what you just said, but only have like 4 episodes, and they just
Yeah.
go ham. They just fucking go ham.
right,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
I
white
would be
blood
fine
cell
with
is
that.
impressed by white blood cells technique.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
just like,
true.
Do
Yeah.
you
he's
have
like,
a samurai sword?
yeah. Like wants
Yeah.
the weapon. Yeah. That's funny.
They
True.
make fun of each other's accents.
True. True.
yeah.
Yeah. The tonality of the show is just overall exhausting, and so you want that payoff at the end that they give you, and then they just
30
take
seconds.
the payoff away. Yeah, it was like, why? Like, please,
Is it for the credits or is
like,
it before?
Can we? It's after. Yeah. So like the outro plays, and then then the blood transfusion happens. They get injected into the other body, and then they're just like, you know, we were just here a little bit ago. Don't tell me this is a completely different body, and then it's like black screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. Yeah, I
The
don't
freaking-
really like. I was gonna say, for Code Black, I wonder if I would like it more if it was the first version of Cells at Work that I had seen. Because what I talked about with season 2 was that like the novelty of the idea of that whole metaphor and the anthropomorphization and everything was like wearing off and getting boring to a degree, and I wanted them to surprise me, and they kind of ceased to. And so that's what was nice about this, was it was a complete tonal shift. The characters were different. It was a completely different environment. You got to see different parts and stuff like that. And I like the katana over the dagger for sure.
I'm personally totally happy that I saw it the way I did.
But
Like,
yeah,
just seeing it,
yeah.
like, because it's such a novel concept for it to, and it, like, I like the first season it's still my favorite, like, even over Code Black, but that's just because it's so joyous, and it was just like, it was such a cool thing to watch at the time, like, even if it didn't have this overarching, path that it was
Yeah.
going towards, but
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
super cheerful and all that good shit, and then I lost my train of thought, so fuck me in the ass. But
But you watched
No,
it
but
in the right. Yeah.
yeah, right. Like I don't know. I don't think I would have enjoyed Cells at Work season 1 if I had seen Cells at Work Code Black, because it's a more polished version of the show,
Right.
just
It would
in a
be kind of
completely different tone.
Yeah.
underwhelming, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ideally, it would be like one season of the regular, then Code Black, and like maybe
Right.
a crossover or something, and I'd be satisfied as frick. But
I agree.
yeah, we'll see where they take it.
Yeah, crossover would be nuts.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe we'll have another nuts episode.
Oh boy, yes sir.
I'm gonna get
That would
fired.
be nuts.
The that's
Another a nuts episode is coming.
All right, man.
You're going to get fired like the sperm out of the penis, my brother.
Yo, man, y'all gotta chill out.
that's far too much. Oh my goodness. All right.
Are you guys
Well.
ready for final thoughts?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Go ahead.
Oh,
You
well,
got this, David.
I got this. I'll go for it first. Yeah, like I said, this is my favorite season. That won't exactly be reflected in the score because we've talked about sort of changing our scaling and stuff. So it'll be similar, but trust that it's quite a bit higher. Yeah, it was just more novel. Made me excited to watch the show again. It wasn't a chore like I was getting into in season 2, and it made me realize like I was really giving season 2 a lot of breaks on stuff because I didn't realize how good the show could actually be. And so it, you know, it was just real good, educational, hit the themes home. So I give it a really solid 7. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with everything David said. Basically, I don't know if I can elaborate on it more than I already have. I like the voice acting performance too. Like I said before, the Japanese squad was really solid. You know, I don't want to call it a chore to watch because it wasn't, but it was more, you know, it was a little effortful because it was largely predictable and it was always tracking the same way. So I don't know. It was I'll toss it a 6.5. I think it was you know, better than average. It was exciting at times, but a lot of the times it was, you know, because it was the third season of it kind of, you know, dragged on for me. But you know, it was still good, still enjoyable.
I think in a lot of aspects I do favor it over original Cells at Work. I do enjoy the dynamic of those characters in the original Cells at Work, so it's different in that sense. A lot of things I enjoyed. We talked about the tonalities of it and all that, but I'm gonna give it a super solid 7.5.
Ooh,
Nice.
okay.
That's what I'm feeling.
Before you go, Trev, I forgot to say one thing, that it was like a lot of my frustration surrounding it was like the idea it's kind of like a monster battle or shonen action type thing a lot of the time, but there's no actually like gain in ability or like change in character or anything like that. Like the cells are who they are and they never change except for maybe like a attitude adjustment now and again, and like that, this and that and the other thing. And so yeah, it felt weird.
Kind of
for
the
that.
nature of the beast.
Yeah, exactly.
It being like our body doesn't upgrade, you know, like
I know
we don't
and
have a skill tree of white blood cells.
That's why it felt frustrating as a show. But I mean, obviously that exactly like you said, like that's just how it is. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's all I got.
No final thoughts for me. I definitely enjoyed this more than Cells at Work season 2. The first season, I think it holds a special place in my heart.
Okay.
I watched it with Rocio. You know, I was still in school. It was just a really nice, just cheerful show. Honestly, it was fucking awesome. But Code Black is dope. They had some stones, you know, pun intended. They killed off characters. They didn't give a shit. It was violent. It was incredibly educating. Opened my eyes, like David said. So, you know, treat your body like a temple, and it will treat you just as well. And I'm gonna give this, same with Alex, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Trying to stay in line with the ratings. I gave season 1 an 8. So
Yeah,
I enjoyed this a lot.
I'm glad. Yeah.
But I will say, to that end, I don't think I want to cover this show again on the podcast.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a total shift from what we're currently seeing, I'll watch it and I don't want to talk about this again because I don't foresee the show changing the way I want it to.
If it comes out
depends.
and people are freaking out and it's got like over a 8.5 on my anime list or something, then I can see
Doubtful.
myself returning to it. But I don't think I'll even watch the next season of it unless I'm like extremely bored or like trying to cycle back to something refreshing like a couple years later.
I'll definitely watch it.
I think it depends. If we get like another installment within the next year, then it would be kind of dry. But if like 5 years go by and it comes out,
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Time
Yeah.
will tell.
All right.
Yeah, if there's something really different about it, I'll be interested. But
Mhm.
we'll see about that. In the spirit of talking about what we're talking about, you guys were thinking for our next one, we got a recommendation from a lovely commenter on Mugen Train.
A few
Mugen
months back
Train.
now.
But
It's been
yeah,
quite a
so-
while now.
But he gave us one of the shows, an interesting one we'd never heard of called Garden of Sinners. So we
a
were
ufotable production.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking dope.
Yeah. That is,
The good folks that brought you Demon Slayer, and I'm sure other things that are quite as beautiful as Demon Slayer.
yeah.
So that would be
Hopefully,
cool.
yeah. Hopefully, if some of our subs out there haven't seen it, and you're an anime fan, this could be almost like a, you know what I'm saying, like a put you on type thing or a anime club type thing where you guys check it out too, because it's not like a
Definitely.
huge one that everyone has seen already. So
Right. And none of us have seen it, so
Will that be
Yeah.
a first?
It might
I
be.
believe so.
It might be.
Excepting the fact that we hadn't seen the Demon Slayer movie because it only came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't count
But
that.
in terms of a TV show that's definitely been out and available to us, I think this is the first time that we'll be doing so. And I know nothing about it. I know the title because
I
David
haven't
just
even
said
looked
it.
at the
That's it.
I haven't even looked at the description or anything
Yeah.
yet.
So
I'm gonna do it
Yeah.
just like I did Jujutsu.
that'll be a good fun nosedive.
give me a second to get the name of the commenter, and if you want to cut this, you can, just so I can
No,
shout him out.
we'll keep it going, brother.
We'll
But-
definitely, or at the end of the episode, we'll definitely shout him out when we do that review.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's a good, when we're talking about shout outs, it's a good time to mention that if you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, that we will definitely read that and shout you out with whatever you want to be named in your, just, denote that, what
As
you
long
want
as
your
it's
name to be
not,
said as long as it's not something
egregious.
that even Trevor won't say.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
Trevor.
For sure.
So,
We don't
Yeah.
do phobic comments here.
All right.
of
We
course.
certainly do not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our good guy, our good friend, this is Daniel, was the man who left that comment, and he had some nice feedback and everything, some cool dialogue. So, I want to give you a shout out, man. We appreciated that. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. The second I saw it, I'd already forgotten it, but
I feel that, man.
yeah,
I feel
Thanks.
that. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
thanks for the recommendation. Hopefully we like it, and if not, we'll tell you exactly why we hate that shit.
that's true. That is true. Yeah.
Fair
You
enough.
can always expect us to be real here.
True.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yes.
Well, on the note of being real, it has been real, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I will
That was
keep
pretty
it-
hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you set me up nicely. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I was certainly, hyped that I enjoyed it more than the past sales of work. So, thanks everyone for listening and watching. It means a lot. Keep on listening and watching. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah.
I wish you said keep on keeping on.
Dang.
Oh, good.
Keep on keeping on.
There it is.
It doesn't count.
Well, I will say, this was dope. But I think we had a stimulating conversation. I will say,
True.
and I like when we have good conversations. We have it all the time, and I needed this. I needed this today. So I love you all. I love we're doing this, my brothers, and I love all the listeners, the viewers. I love you guys too. So thank you.
Absolutely. As they've been saying, thank you very much for watching and listening. If you want to, give us feedback, like I said, the Apple reviews and YouTube comments and likes, dislikes, all that good stuff on whatever platform you're on. Come give us a shout on at Unboxing Life Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and at /Unboxing Life Podcast. Do we have a TikTok yet? Maybe
We will
Yes?
have one
No?
once David gets that shit going.
Soon. It's probably going to be called same thing as one of those two things.
Yeah.
So just search that up if you're watching this, a little while after it's posted. That'll probably exist already. So there you go. Find us there. In the meantime, Stay safe and be kind to everyone.
And shameless plug, man. Follow me on Twitch at
Facts.
Takara Trove and on YouTube. We are blowing up out here.
I've seen that
I'm
YouTube short get almost 8K views.
Yeah, man.
Might be at 8K by the time this is out.
We're feeling it, man.
It is
more.
That's exactly why we wanted to do that for the podcast as well. So hopefully we build a community that we can, interact with and get more recommendations. We I freaked out when I realized that guy gave us the show recommendations. Like, all right, let's fucking do it. Like, we had a plan of shows that we wanted to watch, and then the second David brought that up to us, we're just like, all right, let's do that. Fuck that.
Yeah.
So we always want to, be as interactive as possible. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back like 3 weeks from now to review Garden of Sinners based on our new schedule. So until then, stay safe. Hope to see you there. Peace out, baby.